What's going on, guys? Zephyrnix here. So here's the situation, okay? Here is the situation. You guys excuse me, I'm in a real bad mood, but I'm gonna do my best to kind of hold it down and just kind of talk to you exactly what I need to talk here. So a lot of people want to go on a tangent and talk about how Nintendo is failing and Nintendo is, going downhill, how Nintendo's in a quote-unquote dire situation. Or my favorite one, Nintendo is going to be forced to go third party, like Sega. Obviously, these people don't know the history of their consoles, especially since Sega, it wasn't because Sega did not just randomly go third party. They had a lot of situations behind them. There was a lot of things that built up to that. I'm just saying. But here's the situation. Number one, why? Why all this? Why do you think that? Because the Wii U isn't selling? Really? So the fact that the Wii U isn't selling is your primary source of stupidity. That you think that Nintendo is in a dire situation. What the fuck are you smoking? Nintendo is fine. Nintendo is 190% fine. Just because, even if the Wii U flopped, keep in mind that the Wii sold greatly. Keep in mind that the 3DS, the DS, and the GBA all sold like hotcakes. And let's not even talk about outside the consoles, ladies and gentlemen. Pokemon's still on TV, still making a hell of a bunch of money to this day. And they just released more ways to watch it, so they're still making extra money off of it. And you're talking about Nintendo is in a dire situation? Nintendo's not. Let me tell you something right now. The Wii U could flop right now. It could totally stop selling. They could take it off the market and they'll still be fine. Let's not even talk about retail, not off-console retail marketing. Nintendo toys, Nintendo toys, Mario toys, Pokemon toys, Zelda stuff. All that stuff is selling beautifully. There was that Zelda book that just came out recently, and that is selling. The sales are just through the roof right now. For a book, that is. Just because one thing is failing does not constitute that Nintendo's in a dire situation. Now, with that being said, it's funny because no one wants to go ahead and talk about Sony. Sony is that red button and no one wants to talk about. Are you serious? Between 2006 and 2013, Sony has laid off over 20,000 employees. Ladies and gentlemen, 20,000 people have gone unemployed because of Sony. Just recently, Sony has sold off their U.S. headquarters and more recently sold off a developer company that was first party to them. Just recently. And not to mention, they have sold off other companies between 2006 and 2013. I just can't remember exactly who the companies are, but I do remember them selling them off. And you really think that Nintendo's in trouble? If anything, Sony is the one who's going to go third-party publishing before Nintendo does. How do you not see that? And that's the problem with this gaming community. It's because you guys want to be drawn towards stupidity than fucking common sense. People want to go ahead and point out, the graphics are not quote-unquote next gen. Are you serious? Next gen graphics has nothing to do with a console if it's going to succeed or not. Hell, the power of a console has nothing to do with if a console is going to succeed or fail. And this is what I'm talking about, stupidity, because it's not the fact that this is something new, but almost every generation is the fact that the weaker consoles has outsold the more powerful consoles. Those are facts. And you know what? The one time that was not the case is what? Super Nintendo. So what are you talking about? Then a lot of people want to bring up the quote-unquote casual gamer and how the only way that that Nintendo actually got the sales that they got with the Wii was because of the casual gamer. Yeah, that's a good thing. Keep in mind that just because do you realize that you are part of if you are a core gamer, and I'm being a hardcore or core gamer, you are part of the no-life community that's in the minority. You are the minority. Seriously, no one out there, there's more people out there who just play games just to play games as a relaxing conduit. Versus people out there who sit there in a house all day after school or work and do nothing but play video games. You know, you are the minority, and I'm being dead honest with you. If anyone is catering to you at 100%, they are failing abnormally. Like, seriously, if they are catering to you at 100%, like, oh, I don't know, Sony, well, as you guys think Sony is anyway, no, you are automatically going to be a fail. How do I know this? Look at the sales. Look at the sales, ladies and gentlemen. That's where it all counts. And a lot of people say, oh, he's talking about sales again. Yes, of course he's talking about sales again. This is a retail business. How stupid are you? The games that are on PlayStation 3, whether it's first party or third party versus Xbox and Nintendo, they're not moving off the shelves. I'm talking Nintendo Wii. It's not fair to go ahead. It's not fair to go ahead and compare the Wii U because we are talking about PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. So to bring up the Wii U is irrelevant. We're talking about the Wii, the Xbox, and the PlayStation 3. When it comes down to it, PlayStation software does not move off the shelves like it does when we're talking about Xbox 360 and Nintendo Wii. Those are facts, ladies and gentlemen. And then to make it worse, have you guys actually looked up the stuff lately? Let me go ahead and kind of bring this to light here. I'm looking at PlayStation 3 right now. When it comes down to PlayStation 3, right, the best-selling first-party title is in fact Gran Turismo 5, surprisingly, which only moved 8.77 million. Now, why am I bringing up first-party titles? Because no company gets paid a lot when it comes down to third-party. They get paid more on first-party sales than they do on third-party sales. Common sense, but let's move on. That's for PlayStation. For Xbox, I'm going to skip over Connect Adventures because it's not fair. That came with the system. Halo 3 was the best-selling game, and that was 11.74 million right there. You can't beat that, guys. That's a really good, and that's better than the PlayStation's first party. And then when it comes to Nintendo, their first party is Mario Kart Wii, which sold over 33.49 million. But let me guess. You guys are not happy with that. Let me find a game. Let me see. How much the Well, no, that wasn't sold with it. I wanted to say. So yeah, Mario Kart Wii does qualify because it wasn't on there. It wasn't built into the system as much too. So there you go. I mean, even then, if you want to bring it down to the one game that wasn't, it was what? Smash Brothers Brawl, which was 11.53. You know, you get more money with these first-party titles than you do with these third-party titles. So between retail out of gaming retail, like Nintendo plush toys and all that, between everything, I didn't need to list it all. Nintendo is more than fine. Nintendo is making baku money right now. Sony, on the other hand, has been forced to sell multiple buildings and companies and put people out of work, and you guys don't see the reality of it. But like I said before, and I'll say it again, no one has ever, I repeat, ever, misrepresented the internet as being intelligent. I'm out.